Time 5:02. We have the latest on the coronavirus this morning and how you can help stop the spread. COVID-19 test kits are being made available to millions of Americans. You can now request up to 4 free at-home tests from the federal government. All you have to do is go to this website, COVID tests, make sure that's plural, .gov. So let's give it a go, right? Let's test out the test site. So all you have to do is click on that blue button, and hopefully with our internet here in the studio, it will load fast. But really all you need to do, you add in your name, your address, your email address if you need some tracking information, but no credit card information or proof of identification is required because these tests are free. So as you can see, it's going to take you to the UnitedStatesPostalService.com and you can place your order for free at-home COVID-19 tests. A limit of 1 order per address, but that order includes 4 tests and orders will ship free starting in late January. You don't have to pay any shipping costs at all. That's the beauty of this. But once you request your tests, they're going to ship within 7 to 12 days. So keep that in mind. If you have a vacation coming up or an event coming up, you're going to want to request those tests sooner rather than later because they're going to take a week or more to get to your home. But again, the website is, I'm going to go right back to it, covidtests.gov. Now, the government realizes that not everyone has internet at home. The Biden administration says it's working on a call line so that you can place this order on the phone as well. The Biden administration is also announcing it's going to be giving out 400 million free N95 masks to Americans. Those will be available to pick up at tens of thousands of pharmacies and community health centers nationwide. Meanwhile, the Omicron variant of COVID now accounts for 99% of new cases in the United States. Remember, in early December, the variant was estimated to account for 0.6% of all new cases. The Delta variant now accounts for only 0.5% of new cases nationwide. The CDC says the percentages are calculated using modeling and should be considered estimates, not exact figures.
Locally, the Omicron variant doesn't account for quite as many new cases as seen nationally, but it is still the dominant strain. In Iowa, the variant was detected in more than 62% of COVID tests between December 26th and January 8th. In Illinois, more than 85% of COVID tests detected Omicron over 7 days ending January 15th. That's a jump from 57% the week before. Meanwhile, cases of Omicron variant are leveling off in at least a dozen states. New cases are falling in 5 northeastern states by at least 10%. But health leaders warn we haven't turned the corner on the virus just yet. The head of emergencies at the World Health Organization says the worst of the pandemic could be over this year if inequities in vaccinations and medicines are addressed quickly.
We won't end the virus this year. We may never end the virus. These viruses, pandemic viruses, end up becoming part of the ecosystem. What we can end is the public health emergency.
The World Health Organization says there's a huge imbalance in vaccines between rich and poor countries. Fewer than 10% of people in lower income countries have gotten even 1 dose of a COVID vaccine. Doctors say a COVID zero policy is just not possible and that the goal has to be limiting the number of deaths instead.
Health leaders say the demand for the COVID-19 vaccine is rising again. 3 mass vaccination sites are opening up in Cook County, in Forest Park, Madison, and Des Plaines, Illinois. The state shut down most vaccination sites about 6 months ago. Then the Omicron variant hit and hospital beds filled up fast. The sites are open Tuesdays through Sundays, helping reach people who don't have time to get vaccinated during the week.
The federal government is sending a medical team to Chicago to help reduce the strain on local healthcare workers there. Governor J.B. Pritzker says a 26-person team is being deployed. This surge team will be available for 2 weeks as requested by the state. Currently, Illinois is seeing more than 600 people admitted to hospitals for COVID-19 every day. According to the Illinois Department of Public Health, there are just over 300 ICU beds available right now for any kind of medical emergency for the entire state.
A series of bills aimed at improving mental health resources in Iowa are now being considered by lawmakers in the Iowa House of Representatives. The first bill would increase capacity at Independence and Cherokee mental health institutes by 50%. That would add 32 adult and 14 child beds at these locations. Another piece of legislation would create a loan forgiveness program for new prescribing mental health providers in the state. Republican State Representative Ann Meyer, who introduced this legislation, says Iowa ranks 44th in the country when it comes to psychiatrists per capita, something one of her bills is aiming to change.
We want University of Iowa to establish 12 psychiatric residencies throughout the state. We want 4 at Cherokee, 4 at Independence, and 4 at Oakdale. That will start the pipeline of physicians.
The final piece of legislation being discussed would require the Department of Human Services to establish a Medicaid rate for those needing a high level of inpatient care.
Unity Point Health Trinity will host a job fair in Galesburg this Friday. Any employees of recently displaced from Galesburg's Cottage Hospital closing are encouraged to attend the event, which will run from 10 a.m. until 3 in the afternoon. It'll be held at Carl Sandburg College, and open interviews will be available for a variety of jobs. You're just asked to bring a resume.
There will be suffering, there will be sacrifice, and all of that must and should be laid at his feet.
Right now on Good Morning Quad Cities, the latest on Russia's attack on Ukraine. What we're learning minute by minute this morning as Russia takes over some of Ukraine's armed forces. Plus, the invasion's impact is being felt here at home. Why the biggest effect we'll all see is at the gas pump. Good morning, Quad Cities. It is Thursday, February 24th, 2022, a historic day for our world. I'm Angie Sharp.
And I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
And I guess it really did start last night as we were all starting to go to bed. So February 23rd will be a historic day as well.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and just so many notifications waiting and piling up on my phone from all the news apps, and what a busy night it has been, apparently.
Yes, that is for sure. So right here, producer Jose, let us know kind of what we're seeing right now. This is a live stream of Ukraine's capital of Kiev, where explosions have already been heard in this country as Russia does invade the country of Ukraine. It seems calm right now, but we know that it has been anything but in the last couple of hours. Again, we are getting updates minute by minute this morning, and so we will continue to keep you updated on this developing and breaking story throughout the morning here on Good Morning Quad Cities.
Yeah, going to be busy there today, and also busy here as well. We've got a winter weather advisory back in play for the entire region. This is because we are going to see some slick road conditions as we head into the afternoon and evening. Don't let that fool you, though. We're not going to be piling up inches and inches of snow.
Yeah.
This is just going to be one of those nuisance snows that's going to come through and kind of mess up the evening commute, and then it'll be out of here, and we'll look forward to a warmer weekend, which we're going to track for you coming up here in just a little bit. To kick things off, though, this morning, we've got clouds increasing and actually a band of snow. A little preview snow, if you will, moving through the Sauk Valley region. I'll track that on Doppler radar here in a moment. Temperature-wise, not as bad as where we were yesterday. Winds are lighter, so wind chill's not a big issue. I want to show you that band of snow, though. I was watching our Whiteside County Airport camera just a little bit ago, and yeah, the flakes were flying there south of Rock Falls. That band is dissipating as it's moving to the west. So this is actually a boundary that is coming off of a warm Lake Michigan, and that may give us a few snow flurries through Geneseo and Anawan, and eventually here in the Quad Cities as we go through the 5 o'clock hour. But nothing from this is expected to stick or accumulate. Just going to be a little bit of a scenic view for you for about 30 minutes or so as it pushes through. Temperature-wise, we're headed for the upper 20s again today, and then we'll watch the snow arrive after the noon hour, becoming more widespread as the day goes on. Again, another winter weather advisory in place, so I'll show you the amounts and the timing of all of this. Plus, we'll track that warmer weekend and even more warmth behind it. We'll take a look coming up.
Andrew, thank you. The time is 4:33. We start with breaking news this morning as Russia invades Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin has officially launched military actions against Ukraine, with explosions being heard in Ukraine's capital of Kiev. The air raid sirens you're hearing there. The attack also includes taking over some of the air bases of Ukraine's armed forces. Right now, Ukraine's State Border Guard Service says 3 border guards have been killed, and the advisor to Ukraine's president says about 40 people have been killed so far. It's unclear, though, if that includes any civilians.
It won't be bloodless. There will be suffering, there will be sacrifice, and all of that must and should be laid at his feet.
Ukraine's president says Ukrainian authorities will hand weapons to all of those willing to defend the country. And the White House is issuing this statement. President Joe Biden saying, quote, President Putin has chosen a premeditated war that will bring a catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. Russia alone is responsible for the death and destruction this attack will bring, end quote. This invasion may be taking place on the other side of the world, but it will hurt us here at home. Experts say we're already seeing the impact at the gas pump. News 8's Devin Brooks reports.
Facing a crisis.
I don't see anything good coming out of this in the short run.
With the looming threat of war breaking out between Russia and Ukraine, it questions the impacts here at home.
I hope they can have a diplomatic solution to this.
Dr. Paul Lockhart teaches economics at Black Hawk College. He worries how the ongoing tensions could cause a spike at the pump.
I worry because when gas prices go up, it triggers recessions.
According to Gas Buddy, this is the 8th straight week the nation's average gas price has jumped. It rose just more than 3 cents from a week ago and stands at $3.52 per gallon today.
We'd probably be talking about maybe a $20 or $30 a barrel hit, and it could be even more dramatic.
And this is already coming at a time when inflation is at its highest in decades.
Everybody's spending more at the pump. We have less to spend everywhere else. Sales go down. Bad for everybody else.
Experts say the outcome of the conflict centers on the possible domino effect.
Fuel expenses for trucking companies, logistics, airlines are going to likely have to pass along higher jet fuel prices in the months ahead. So it's all going to trickle down.
And Lockhart says that very well could be the case, as this raises concerns of oil supply and the economy's recovery.
We've seen a lot of recessions preceded by high gas prices. I'm hoping that's not going to happen.
Devin Brooks, WQAD News 8.
And gas prices are already going up since Devin put together that report. As of 4 o'clock this morning, the national average price for a gallon of gas was $3.54 a gallon. Meanwhile, Illinois' statewide average is $3.71, with Rock Island County reporting an average of $3.65. The average in Iowa is $3.35, with Scott County reporting an average of $3.33.